I mean, my path was Central Connecticut in the Northeast Conference, Manhattan in the MAC, Niagara in the MAC, Delaware in the CAA, with the Sixers, Delaware 87ers in the G League, back to St. Joe's off the court as not even as an assistant with my dad for a year. Then you're at Bryant in the America East. Like, wasn't like some meteoric path, and that's 20 some years and making very minimal money. You know, like I've said to some of the young guys on our staff, like, because I obviously know what their salaries are, and I'm like, you know, we're doing meetings with them this week, and I'm like, you deserve all this, but understand like how lucky you are. Like, I was, Megan probably knows the true answer. Like, I might have been 8-9 years in, and I still wasn't making $30,000. And at that point, we were married and had a kid, and she wasn't working, you know, and we're still paying credit card debt from that time, probably 20 years ago. You know, just trying to survive. And you're looking around, and you're like, well, that guy gets zipped up the line, and that guy gets that job, and no one's really. And the other thing, and I think our fans like to hear this, like, I'm not a job chaser. There are lots of job chasers out there. There are guys that.
That's where you get crowd pop.
No, but there are a lot of guys out there, assistants and head coaches, that just chase jobs. That just go like, they get a job, and then they're automatically like, what's the next job? Where can I go from here? And I was never that way. And it probably hurt my career, to be honest with you, but I wouldn't change a second of it. And then you get into it as deep as I got to it, and you're sitting there as a 20-year assistant. You've never been higher than the CAA. No one's really like trying. And I was around a lot of success. Now I'm not taking any credit for it, but I'm like, we're winning program after winning program. We're winning hard jobs, and nothing. And you do wonder. You're like, all right, maybe this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And again, the people at Bryant to give me the opportunity in very unique and, you know, unfortunate circumstances, but to give me a shot, and not just like, all right, we'll see. You know, they brought me in that day and they were like, you are our head coach. We're not doing a search. You are the coach. You are the head coach. We believe in you. And that gave me the confidence to say, all right, if they believe in me, you know, now is an opportunity. And just tried to run with it. And then that turned into a 20-some win season. The next year turned into a 20-plus win season and a championship. And then 372 days ago, I was sitting there and Ed texted me and said, I think I'm gonna come up and meet with you. And I'm like, saying to Megan, I'm like, I think Ed's on his way. And she's freaking the bleep out. I mean, she was like a wreck. And I'm like, I think this is real. And it was a Tuesday. She was bringing the kids home from school, and they had to turn around and go right back out to practices. And you know, you guys know, it's like, this one's got practice, that one's. And it's like, well, we have to tell them something, because I don't know where this is gonna go. And by the time they get home, I could be gone. So we grabbed the kids quick, we told them what was going on. They were excited. There was some that were super excited, some were a little nervous, some didn't have any idea what was going on. I was sitting on my couch, it was 10 o'clock at night. Philip came down from his room and he said, Dad, they're saying you took the VCU job. I was in my pajamas eating popcorn, falling asleep, probably watching whatever. If I had the remote, it was probably like a rerun of The Office. If Megan had the remote that night, it was probably Real Housewives of some nonsense place. And I was like, well, I'm sitting here. And then my phone goes crazy. All these people, congratulations. Some, I need a job, hire me. Some, I have a player for you. And I'm like, I'm sitting here in my sweatpants and my t-shirt, like falling asleep. And Ed was on a plane. He was on a plane, so I couldn't even get a hold of him. And we did meet that night, super late at night. I met with Dr. Rao the next morning via Zoom. And then from there, I met with my team at Bryant. I met with the VCU team on Zoom. And we were whisked away to the airport. Megan was still freaking out. I will not lie about that. She was a complete wreck. But the last thing, and this goes way, way, way back to, you know, your question, like, or what you said earlier, like, the one thing she said to me, she looked at me and she said, okay, we're really doing this. I said, yeah, we have to do this. This is like life-changing opportunity. And she looked at me and she said, promise me this won't change us. That we can do this at Bryant, and it's mom and pop, and it's little, and it's family, it's all that. And she looked me in the eyes, and she said, you have to promise me this won't change us. And I haven't changed. She's changed. I haven't changed.
That was an incredible story there, Coach.
She's changed.
I've enjoyed getting to see your
She
family.
has not changed. I can feel the glare I'm getting from her. She has not really changed. She's changed a little bit.
Your family's been part of the Ramley here at Ram Nation. I told you your youngest son is like our baby Yoda.
He's back there.
Nate, when they lift him up, my favorite thing is watching you stamp the VCU thing onto the next round. Yeah! Yeah, come on!
Oh, this ain't your show. What are you doing? We were a little bit late getting over here because Nate had to stop at the BDC. He has a project due tomorrow. Of course, why wouldn't we start it, a couple days ago? Why don't we start it today? But he had to measure the court. The court is how long?
94 feet.
And how wide?
50.
94 by 50. So we had to measure the court for his project.
Woo! Can I get a go Rams?
Go Rams.
Yeah! You're the man. Well, Coach, I do need to ask you one more question because my girlfriend's here and she told me, I can't believe you didn't ask a follow-up question. You told a really cool story about...
I was just going to say, I can't believe you have a girlfriend, but go on. Sorry. Well, my family would tell you Megan was the first girlfriend I ever had.
There we go. So you told an incredible story about your father and your mother meeting when they were counselors at college at basketball camp.
Yep.
And you and your wife met when you were counselors at basketball camp.
Yep.
And my girlfriend said, how'd you not follow up? Like, how did you riz her up? What did you do to get her number? And as you guys were both counselors together.
That story is somewhat debated, but since I'm on the microphone, we'll tell my story.
Yeah.
So I was coaching in Central Connecticut, and Anthony Latina, who was the other assistant, he's the head coach at Sacred Heart up in Connecticut. We're sitting in the office the night before camp, and I'm looking at the worker list, and I'm like, who's Megan Phelps? And Ant is like a million miles an hour. He has energy all the time, every time. Like he is just, and he starts going crazy. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've been talking you up. She's such a cute girl. You're gonna love her. Her dad's a basketball coach, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Ant, slow down. I'm like, because I knew the other two girls had worked our camp previously. And I was like, they're not really my speed. I was like, if she's like them, it's probably, and he's like, no, I'm telling you. So the next morning, camp start, we're getting ready to start camp. She comes in, and he's giving me the, and I'm like, all right, like, yeah, okay, Ant, like you're steering me in the right direction. So he will claim that he gave me the assist. He's like, hey, Phil, this is Megan, blah, blah, blah. Can you help her? She's got to go put her bag down or her sweatshirt or something in the office. So I was like, yeah, no problem. Her version is that she asked me a bunch of questions and I didn't answer. My version is like I was the coolest guy in the world, super smooth, every line in the book, like. But regardless of how it started, if Ant was here, he would tell you he had two people that were on the camp payroll that did no work that week. I don't know that that's entirely true. I mean, I did some work. We went out that weekend and we ended up, dating for 4 years. So some work was done. But no, it was, that's how it started for us. My parents the same. They met working a basketball camp, and like I said, we're basketball through and through. That's who we are. And she played and coached and knows more than I do. I had to put in a rule a couple of years ago. We won a game at Niagara, and after the game, she's like, man, that on a last second play, and she's like, that play by Anthony, and I was like, yeah. I had no idea what she was talking about. She's like, yeah, that fake, to do that. And I was like, yeah, I know, I saw it. I probably told him to do that, And I had no idea what she was talking about. And I went back the next day and looked, and I was like, man, she was exactly right. And she had Philip was a baby on her lap. I was like, I had no idea. So from that point on, I was like, we're not talking about the games anymore, mostly because I don't want to feel like an idiot at the games.
Well, let's make some noise for Coach Phil Martelli Jr. For the VCU Rams, the A-10 regular season co-champions, the A-10 tournament champions, and VCU advances to the round of 32 with a win over North Carolina. Coach, you got to grab yourself one of those T-shirts. I went out of my way this week to get those made.
That's awesome.
Bring some home to your family.
That's awesome.
And your friends. And thank you so much for coming, man.
Hey, I do gotta say though, we have a couple nice announcements coming over these next couple days. So I think everybody's called on.
Okay. I didn't want to pressure you.
I think everybody's called on to the pattern. It seems like 5 o'clock. I think we have filmed. I think there's at least through the weekend.
Ooh.
So
one VCU announcement a day will keep the doctor away.
A pretty special one tomorrow. They're all special, but a little one that's a little extra special, I think, for everybody tomorrow. And then definitely Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm just missing count. There might be another one Monday, but definitely Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So things are moving in the right direction.
I mean, people have come up to me. We've caught on. It's a great bit. It's very well done by VCU Athletics, and you and your staff have done a tremendous job. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
We've got more
Season
T-shirts.
tickets on sale. I know this group's got them, but
Oh, yeah.
get your friends in there. There's not going to be many seats in that Season Center next year, I can tell you that. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, if they want tickets, they better get them now.
We still have more swag, more prizes to give away. Thank you guys so much for coming down to the Rams Rally.